No way he just said this, as a rival pass rusher just called out the Philadelphia Eagles, and people are gearing up for a matchup with that team in the next couple of weeks. What were those comments? Well, I'll tell you here on another edition of Eagles Digest. What's going on, guys? Alex Brooks back here on Eagles Digest to give you guys everything surrounding the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are getting ready for their Week 7 matchup against the Minnesota Vikings. Been saying that for a while now, as it's been a minute since the Eagles have been on the football field, as they went against the Giants in the big blowout loss on Thursday Night Football in Week 6, and they're gearing up for a 1 o'clock matchup on Sunday. But before we get into this video, before we get into everything surrounding all of these comments, if you guys are not subscribed to this channel, if you're part of the 98.2% who aren't subscribed to this channel, you guys better hit that subscribe button. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the Philadelphia Eagles, state of the Eagles right now, and everything surrounding this video. But getting right into this video, as we are going to talk about Micah Parsons, a former rival for the Philadelphia Eagles, traded over to the Green Bay Packers, and he still has to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles every single day because he is probably wanting to play on the Philadelphia Eagles, and he wasn't able to do that because he played his whole career with, or most of his career with, the Dallas Cowboys, and now got traded over to the Green Bay Packers. But he can't help himself from talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, and I wanted to share this comment with you in regards to the Tush push. He said, "You ask the Eagles offensive players, probably say that that's the best thing we're doing on offense right now. It's the most consistent thing they got. But that might come and bite me one day. It is what it is. I hate that play. You can't stop it if they're leaving early." And this is definitely came up in conversation with NFL executives about how to differentiate the tush push. We've seen just throughout the league that people don't like the tush push. People don't like that, how successful it is, and how the Eagles have a unfair advantage. And now people are going a little bit more deep into it now and talking more about, how the Eagles are false starting beforehand and they are not calling it. Well, when you're looking at it from, the Eagles' perspective, it is a play that is a 1 yard play. It's a 1 yard play that the Eagles have mastered. Whether it is called a false start, whether it's not called a false start, that is in the hands of the refs in the NFL. At the end of the day, the Eagles are more successful at it because they have practiced it, and it is a legal play. I tell everybody else, you practice it, you try to master it, and you'd be able to do well. The Eagles have one of the best offensive lines throughout football for years. For 4 to 5 years, they've had the best offensive line in the NFL. Why not use that to your advantage? They have it at the 1 yard line. They have it at the goal line. They have it at a 4th and 1. They're going to keep doing it, and they're going to do it at a successful rate. And I personally love it as an Eagles fan. I know that a lot of Eagles fans, you probably do love it as well. The thing is, right now, it is probably going to be banned after this season because of just all of the scrutiny behind it, and people just want to see it go away. I definitely think it's just a lot of people whining about it, and it really is not something that is totally a big advantage to what the Eagles could do. I mean, if you're going to get rid of the tush push, then you're going to have to reorganize what you define a QB sneak, because a QB sneak and a tush push kind of go in that same category, and you're going to have to, really differentiate the rules regarding that. And I definitely think that, if they ban the tush push, the Eagles are going to come up with another play that is scrutinized. It's always going to happen with the Philadelphia Eagles that they're not going to want to, have them get a upper advantage, whether it be, a tush push, whether it be the Eagles have too many stars on the team and everything else. It's never about how good they are. It's about, let's stop them from being so good and let's have an excuse every single time. And it's really frustrating. But, to Micah Parsons and how he doesn't like that play, well, your team in 2024 ran it 9 times. They ran it 10 times and they converted 9 out of 10, 90% on the tush push last year. So for someone who hates the play, his team ran the play, a good amount of times. 10 times, converted 9 of them. So they were successful on the tush push. So it's very interesting to see how Micah Parsons decides to, just call out the Eagles on how he hates the play. But his team that was on there last year with the Dallas Cowboys, they ran it. So you're a little, you're kind of or I can't even speak right now. You're kind of just being a hypocrite right now regarding the tush push. And I definitely think that this is just something that is just really just calling out the Eagles for no apparent reason. The Eagles are going to face the Green Bay Packers after their bye week on Monday Night Football. That is going to be something where if the Eagles are performing well on offense at that point, they are going to throw the tush push every single time that they can, because the Packers were known as the team that started that conversation on trying to ban the tush push. And just looking at what the Eagles have to do moving forward in against Minnesota, because the Eagles, Micah Parsons is going to, talk his crap about everything surrounding, the Eagles. And, he had that Cowboys Eagles rivalry and everything like that. And he understands that, he can't keep the Eagles out of his mouth. But going into this Minnesota game, Eagles offense just needs to get a little bit better, because when you take those comments that the tush was the only thing that the Eagles are relying on right now, in hindsight, it's not wrong, but I do not think that the Eagles are just looking at that as just that's the only thing that they can do right now. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, and DeVonta Smith, they just got to get on a good level. Nick Sirianni said that they had a good couple days of practice. They had 10 days off. They're going against the Minnesota Vikings that is ranked 21st in run defense. So this is a perfect opportunity to get Saquon Barkley acclimated to this season and have him have a big day. Over 100 yards is what I'm expecting out of Saquon Barkley. And then I'm also expecting Jalen Hurts to really pass the ball at an historic clip, because this is going to be a make or break game for the Philadelphia Eagles. If they're able to look good and win this game, it's going to shut the league up. If they do not win this game and they look the same, then heads are going to start rolling. And it's just very frustrating to see what from this Eagles team, how they're not able to get, in position or put them in positions to win these games. And I definitely think it's just getting the offense ready to roll, and then just having your defense, having them off the field, put drives together and have them rest for when they come out against Carson Wentz. And, just looking at more on this tush push is that that Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles, I've said it before, they've mastered this play, but they're getting a little, just looking at the play a little bit more. The Eagles are false starting against when they do this play, so it's getting called a little bit more. But the thing is, they are not calling it on the Eagles. When you're looking at Thursday Night Football last night, the Steelers did a false start on their tush push, and they called it. So it's kind of gonna get into a little muddy territory right now, that they're not calling it on the Eagles, but they are calling it on the Pittsburgh Steelers and other teams. So that is definitely looking as a unfair advantage right now. That's why I think that they are going to ban it next year. Not saying that it is it should be a legal play. I just think with all of the evidence that they have with false starting and everything, having it be an unfair advantage, that's definitely going to be in favor of a lot of teams wanting to get rid of the play. The Eagles are going to come up with some play that's going to be successful next year, whether it be Saquon on the 1 yard line, whether it be a general QB sneak, whatever happens with the tush push, the Eagles are going to come up and they are going to adapt at a high rate. But that's going to do it for another edition of Eagles Digest. Appreciate all the support you guys are giving us on this channel. Hope you guys are ready for this Week 7 matchup. I'm expecting a big game out of Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, especially. Definitely think the Eagles are going to, get over this 2-game skid and look like the world beaters they were in 2024. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. We're going to have so much content for you on this channel, so subscribe, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the Philadelphia Eagles. Go Birds and fly, Eagles, fly.